Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick look before. Here's my 2 expansions and the game, and right now I've got everything in a mess. I don't even have these all the way punched out yet. I have not played with the Crimson Hand. And here I have the temples and the figures I have not painted yet. And then over here I have some more tokens that I haven't punched out and used. They haven't come up. And then my figures that I have painted in there. And everything's just kind of separated. It's not all together in one place. Here is the board, of course, and the plastic insert that comes with it. It does well enough for the base game, but it won't hold everything well. Get out some of these manuals. The cards are just piled up front to back in piles, in groups. There's enemies, and then when you get to the end of the enemies, have the artifacts, and when you get to the end of the artifacts, then you have the adventures. Because there's just not enough room to have everything like really evenly. Here are most of the player characters, playable character cards, but as you can see, that's full, so the enemy cards are separate. There's just nowhere to put them. Have a bunch of tokens mixed in here, including the adventure markers, and then some cards here with a few tokens separated. These are the adventures, and then events, more people tokens, location cards with the danger and success markers, and then the city adventures with the wounds. So it's partially organized well, but this here is not, and the cards are just, they won't go all the way down. It's too tight. This is too tight, and I don't want to take a chance of bending up the cards. So as you can see, everything just kind of lays in there once this gets full. So I'm going to work on a box insert to see if we can fix this, remedy it, and there's 2 expansions coming out next year that I'm really excited. There's no way this is going to fit in there, and I don't want to carry every box every time. I mean, I could take all this out and put all the extra components in one box and carry that, but let's see if we can just, straighten it out, see what it looks like. And we have to try and remember the board is not the same size as the box, so the insert will need to hold that secure and allow for that to sit in there. First thing I want to start with, of course, just a simple box insert base. Here we go. It is snug without being so tight that you can't pull it back out or it doesn't have any give. Here we go. Just a tiny bit of underneath the ledge there. If you can see that, just a tiny bit. So if you look at these, they are just under 4 inches by 6 inches, just under. So if I make this roughly 6 inches, and what I did was I went ahead and made it about 6 1/16. So I measure this to the edge of the 1/16, and then I put a pin in line, made sure it connected with this. Then I measure from the side, and it was 6 7/16. Or just short of 6 1/2. Then I lined up my pins and got them prepped. Over here it was just a little off. It was more, yeah, just a little off. But it does line up inside the box. And it could be that this edge is just a little longer than this edge and such, with it being on the outside, because this is more like 6 3/8. So about a 1/16 short. But once I got that lined up, just to double check, these will fit in easily with a little wiggle room, and I will have some dividers here. This will give me a chance to spread these out to distribute the weight evenly into the box. But once you get the pre-measurements, then you just put some more pins. There we go. Just to get it lined up so that then you can go back and glue. Alright, let me do that. We'll come back and take a look at what it's looking like. Now, these have just a little bit of a bow. It's hard to get them perfect, but this one's a little snug, a little more snug than I'd like, but this one's fine. So, got those in. Just once I measured, put in my pins, preset them through, got the glue. Did not glue all the way to the edge. I just pushed it down, and it would, so about 2/3 of the way up on the side and then along the bottom. Got those in. Seem pretty snug. Now we'll have plenty of room there. Here, if you can see, this is about 1/16 short of the top. This is a 1/4 inch right here. If you can get that on, yeah, there you go. So this is about a 1/4 inch. This is a 1/2 inch cut all the way across to about another 1/4 inch. And that is for the board. So let's see how that looks. Now, as you can see, it does have some wiggle. I could have left it a little longer. I'm going to try to get these sides a little tighter, and I may do the same thing and have two just to keep it snug. So when I do dividers, like this, there will be two dividers that will come up and go all the way over, and that'll be about 1 inch on each side. For the next part, I cut 4 pieces the same. This is 5 inches, 3, 3.5, 1 inch gap right there. All of these are the same, and I measured 4 inches in, and then went 1/16 or 1/8 over just to start one of the pins. You can see that there. Then I measured from the edge to where that was and lined those up. And then I measured from this edge to line those up to put this other one on the bottom. I've already got 3 in place. I'm using the smoothest sides to put against the wall and the bottom. It won't look as pretty, but that way I have a larger surface area to glue for the strength. So let's put some glue on this and get that in there and then see what it looks like. It's a little harder to do at this table. I can't hold it over the edge, but I got glue all the way to the top this time because I'm not sliding it down. I'm kind of wedging it in. So let's pre-start those. Get this as much in the middle as I can and push down into the corner of the box to get it secured. Then we will line it up with the screw that's coming up through the bottom. Give it one more last measurement. I want the edge of this to go to the 4. Right there. And that should do it. There. Push that up through the bottom and clean up this glue. Not bad. We'll let that set. These others have set some. So now you can see plenty of space, plenty of give, and this way spread out the weight. And when you have several of them, you can simply get them out easily. We'll let that set and finish drying. We can use this for some storage or something later. So here are the two-sided adventure cards. And if you saw my playthrough, I would cover this with something and then try to pull one out without looking. Okay, so I made this. Now this will go to the edge there. This is barely on the inside the size of a card. I got a little snugger than I want it, but it works. Left a spot here for the finger, and right here, the camera will focus. I left a gap. This piece is connected on the insides of these, but it is not glued to this base. So, the regular danger side up. Like I said, it's a little snug, so I have to put them in like this, like so. Whoa, too big of a pile. Let me do that over. There we go. And then once you get them in, that first card doesn't want to work well. The weight. Got to get it settled. Then it worked good. So all you'd have to do is hand this to someone, or hold it up, set it like off the edge of the table or the edge of the board while you're playing, and there you go. That way no one can see the danger that's coming up, because you'll draw from the bottom. And then if you need to do the cliffhanger, you flip it, and when you put it back in, you just put it this way. There we go. And those are already stored. I can easily flip them out if I want, shuffle them and stick them back in, but won't have to. That will fit right there to the edge. Now let's get the board and set it in. With my recessed ledges there, the board should fit nicely, and it's got a little wiggle. Here we go. Here I have some card trays. Simple 3 deck, open face. So the dimensions here, this bottom piece is 9 3/4 inches, and this is 4 inches. So then I have this piece that's 9 3/4 inches, and it is 1 3/16 high. So are these 1 3/16, but I did these 3.5. So there's a little gap at the front, you can see. Just makes it a little bit easier getting cards in and out. Looks a little better, I think. And I have 6 of those. 2 will go here. So I just regular box this part. Then I measured from the inside of here to the outside of there. If I went to roughly the 3-inch mark and did the same here, this is almost exactly the same size as these other 2. So came up with a clever little idea. I took a piece of one of my leftovers and cut it to the length I wanted, so that I can use it to space out. So I just put a tack or 2 through here, or a pin, and then slide this out to here, push it against it, hold it until it gets nice and firm from the glue. And we'll come back and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. hold this bottom piece up just a little bit so it doesn't get glue everywhere. Then press it firmly down. Press it against the back wall. That will fit nicely there. When we get ready to play, you can put this over on whatever side of the board where the artifacts are going to be handled. And it's not really a good way to do the discard, but that don't matter. I have another one here, and it's just a little below, but still plenty of room. I'm not worried about that. So let's say, for instance, I could put the villain, event, and then the enemies, and let's just go ahead and stack the villains up on top of there. They'll only be used once, but you can set this off to the side of the board where you're going to be operating the Val organization. Once you pick your the villains you're going to be playing with, you can just set them aside and you'll have this close to hand. There you go. And whoop, fits in there nicely. Have enough space for more, and then here in the middle I can put a couple of stacks of trays for all the different tokens. This one over here will be smaller. It'll probably just be 2 cards wide because I want to have this separate just so it can be passed around and everyone can. So 2 cards, 2 tall, and then tokens here. After seeing how good these card trays turned out, I decided to reorganize some things. I can put all of the characters here, all the villains here, plenty of room. I can even store stuff on top if I wanted. Get more villain stuff put there, heroes, whatever. But I decided to make some more trays. Why not? Now, if you notice, to the dimensions I have, the event deck comes right to the edge. Now there is a couple of 16ths right here that you could elevate this, but if they come out with any more event decks in any of the expansions, this won't work. I may have to let people choose which side of the deck they want to pull from. Personal missions can just go here or on top of one of these other decks and then separate it out later. We have the co-op rule cards and such. So I'm going to put this on the bottom so that nice and even and smooth. Still have plenty of room here. There we go. If I bring this up to the top, you can see. There we go. So there's a little wiggle room if you decided to follow this guide and make this pocket a little bit larger. Got a little bit of a mess going on, but these turned out so well. Made some trays. I have the skull tokens for the locations of all the different artifacts. Success and failure tokens, the danger tokens. Then I have a bunch of the ally tokens that you can just use in the game if you want, and then those skull tokens with different values there. And then here I have the collapse symbols with the exploration deep jungle symbols, and I think, yeah, also those few market type. So I have those in there and a few of those. This will fit right in there. And then this one, I have the tokens for the Crimson Hand, as well as there's a few rat token or skull tokens in here, but they're the ones that go with that. Then I have the hideout tokens, and these tokens are all the bad guys there. Crimson Hands are in here, then the Nazi and the mob are in here. Wound tokens, and then here are all the dock expansion tokens, as well as the tokens to create more ports and docks if you'd like. That way this can be pulled out and put over next to the Evil Vow Organizations track. I've got all of my heroes and villains here. Still trying to figure that out, but that turned out so well. So I have this. We can slide it right there. And then I can do this. Now these here. So I have the total height of the side is roughly 1.5 inches. This is 1 5/16 by 2 3/4, and this is 1 5/16 by 4 inches, the outside. So this is a 4-inch by 3 1/8 inch roughly. The base, those will fit in there and come up flush with that. With them being on the inside like this, I guess I can put this in here now. When the board goes in here, it will keep those coins from spilling out. There we go. The cards should be heavy enough. You have to do a lot of vigorous movement to get them to fall out or anything. So that looks good. For now, I just got the dice in the bag. You can even set them here if you want, just to help keep those in there. Plenty of room here for more Vow Organization tiles, hero tiles, have some spaces here. So now, perhaps some more organizers for the figures, the heroes, the temples, but all the tokens are now out of here, even the ones from the expansions. So this can go into the recycling. Made a simple tray here. This is the Crimson Hand. And then I have the heroes here, and there's plenty of space. Lay a few more there for an expansion. Fit in there snug. Comes even with this. Got a couple more trays for possible future expansions. They can go in here. There we go. The CD I just have lying in here loose. There's the extra cards, and that's it. Everything's out of the boxes now. I just got to get focused on painting those. And so here's the finished product, and I'll do a quick little run through just to show it in the box. So, oh, the dimensions on these, I almost forgot. It's 6 inches by 2 5/16. Then these are 2 inches by 1 5/16. 6 inches by 1 5/16. And that way they stack up. They come to right about 3 inches. And that's with all 4 of those. Alright, there you go. Let's take a final look at what it looks like. I have everything piled up on my table, but here we go. There is the main insert. Okay, it's not too tight. Slides right in. Put these player cards there, and there's plenty of room once I put the mobster's tray in there. There is still plenty of room. If I put more player cards down there, that this can elevate and be fine. So plenty of room for another expansion of characters. I forgot to drop that under there. But if an expansion comes with some more characters, their player cards can go into there. Possible more figures or expansions can go there. The unused cards, just hold on to those. Lean the disc this way so it's next to that for the board. Then we have the artifact and location deck, the Vow organization cards, the event cards, then the items and gear cards. There we go. Tokens for the artifacts and locations, Vow organization and wound tokens, score track, the adventure deck and feeder with the dice on top. Then we have the glory tokens and the fortune tokens. There is the Crimson Hand. Here are the hero figures. All the cards for the different Vow organizations, and there's plenty of room in case there's another Vow organization in a future expansion. Those will fit in there, and that will still leave plenty of room if this needs to elevate to make room for that. Here we have the board, manuals, and there we go. Hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching.